But on the other hand, when you have people abusing power and authority, period, like the demonstrations that did make the media, you how do you side with the law enforcement when they're acting like that? Man, it becomes very complicated because not everybody's a looter, and not everybody in law enforcement is going to kill you for recording them. Right. So, man, we're at a very interesting crossroad in the United States. This is not a minor thing. This is a major thing in my eyes.
Yep.
How do you feel?
Well, and it's because it also lends itself to wonder whether or not it's another thing that's intentional, whether it's provocateur, whether it's a false flag. I heard a really interesting analogy, or I don't know if this would be considered an analogy or an allegory or whatever, but the other day, which is that you don't build a house with one tool. You know what I mean?
That's very true.
So it goes to something that I always say to my wife over and over again, is that she's one of those people that sees everything in black and white, which is great, and that's useful in its place. But from what I've observed of the world, very few things are black and white. From what I've observed personally is that there's never, and like I always tell her, there's never one answer to any given question. Anything that I've ever encountered in my life that involves a question always involves multiple answers. This happened because of this, and this. It's never just this caused this. Right. It's never one or the other. It's always multiple things that lead up to a particular event.
That's very true, because I see things black and white, but that's my way of dealing with things directly, and the world is full of colors.
Right. It's easier to look at things as being in black and white, but it's not the reality of the situation most of the time. Most of the time, it's just not. And not to just not to get too far away from the actual subject, but it goes to it goes to a conversation that I was having recently with an individual who considers himself agnostic, borderline atheist, and I was explaining to him that for me, I always get frustrated at both sides. I get frustrated with scientists, really hardcore left-wing scientists, and then I get really frustrated with hardcore far-right conservative Christians. And that just got interesting, and Richard is calling in, so we're going to have to save that. Hopefully we'll have some time to revisit that. But here's my friend Richard Pamonte with the Pay It Forward initiative. Here we go. Hey, Rich, how's it going, man? You're live on air.
Good. I'm doing good, Rob. How's it going?
Awesome, man. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. How you doing?
It's going great. We had a great Sunday, and I'm just honored to be on the show.
Right on, man. We're honored to have you, man. So listen, we were just mid topic, and we're going to revisit what we were talking about a little bit later. But I was really excited to have you on tonight, mostly to talk about what you and I were discussing earlier. And I haven't even brought it up to my co-host here, Joseph. He hasn't even heard anything about it in the least, so it's kind of new to him. But as you know, I was excited to bring you on to talk about the Pay It Forward initiative. I don't know if that was something that you decided to call it officially. That's just what I've just kind of gone with from our discussions so far. But I'd like for you to elaborate a little bit more on that, if you don't mind.
Sure. Well, I can't take credit for making that up. I found that on Facebook. One of my Facebook friends, he got it from a friend.
Right.
And basically, what it is you post a message on Facebook, and with all the bad things that goes on in this world, all the negativity, we wanted to just basically 5 people that responded to the message. Within the calendar year, they would get like a surprise letter, or like a homemade gift or something like that, just to send some positivity, within your own inner circle. And then everyone's inner circle grows, and the whole idea is, one person spreads it to 5, and then that other person spreads it to another 5, and then it would just continually grow.
Right.
So that was the whole idea behind that. I don't know who came up with it, but I thought it was nice, so I decided to go with it.
Right. And I mean, I love the idea. You know, as you know, I'm really big on you know, spreading the love and just trying to change the nature of things as they are right now. Just like you said, there's so much negativity, and so much violence, and so much hatred going on around right now that there has to be something to counter it. And the only thing that's going to counter it is whatever's exactly opposite. So whenever you brought up that idea to me, I thought it was great. The more I thought about it, the more I thought about it, the more I thought about it. You know, if that makes any sense. I mean, it really. I know for you, it was just something that you happened to come across from a friend, you know, a friend that you happened to see on Facebook. But for me, as soon as you told me about it, I mean, it's really weighed on my mind, you know, almost constantly. And I decided, you know, this is something that I think is important and something that we should make an effort to try to make it go viral. You know, just like the whole ALS challenge is, which in and of itself is a great thing. Not disparaging that at all. That, you know, for what it is, that's a great thing, and I think this can be something to be just as big, if not bigger. And I think probably having even a bigger lasting effect. What do you think, Joe?
I think people should pour sand on their head because water is precious. No, you know what? We're all of that same.
That's a good idea, Joe. I never even think about that. I always thought, like, what would be a better alternative to this whole ice water and sand?
Marbles.
Yeah.
Buckshot.
Marbles.
Buckshot. I like it.
Don't open your eyes. Fluoride toothpaste.
Fluoride.
Do not get on it. It's
fluoride.
It's addictive. Do not chase that dragon. No, but seriously, the positive and pay it forward. I love that. I love that there's more people that we can bring this to, even via this broadcast. I call that sowing seeds. And you know, if you go out and you plant sunflowers, or you go out and plant tomatoes, what do you expect is going to grow up? Sunflowers or tomatoes. And so if you're sowing those kinds of seeds into people's lives, and I've seen this my whole life, and that my mom taught it to me, and I'm a very big activist for that. It is sowing positive seeds, and I love it.
Yeah, I did too. That's why I jumped on it. You know, that's why I jumped on board with it. You know, when I saw it, I thought it was great. Hey, good to finally get to speak to you, by the way, Joe.
Oh man, it's a pleasure to meet you. Now,
yeah, I liked the last show. It was great. It was great. You're definitely an enlightened individual.
I do appreciate that, man. I just want to start an argument with you at some point. I need you to know that. And that's not a negative argument. It can be enlightening for both of us.
He likes to debate. So, and you know, there's one of the things that he said to me is that, you know, he wanted to argue with me and debate, but so far he's been pretty hard-pressed to find something to argue about because we're pretty much like-minded
because you
individuals.
know what you're talking about.
Dang it. That darn information. But no, seriously, and Rich, just so you know, for, you know, pretty soon I definitely would like to have you in studio to do a live broadcast, you know, so we can talk more not only about the Pay It Forward initiative, but also the other subjects that you wanted to cover in regards to healthcare, the current healthcare situation, the things that you're involved with in regards to. Richard, I don't know if I told you, is Rich? Can I officially call you a doctor now, or are you there yet, or are you still working on that?
One more month, September 19th. You can start calling me doctor.
September 19th, Richard will be a doctor of chiropractic medicine.
Awesome.
All right, so
I've seen 2.5 Men.
Thank you, Russ.
So when we have him on the show the next time around, which should be, I think, Rich, would probably be in the next couple of weeks. We'll actually have you live in studio, and I'd love to talk to you about everything you're doing medically, and also the concerns that you had in regards to Obamacare, the so-called Affordable Care Act. And
yeah, I see it firsthand. I mean, even though I'm not a doctor officially yet, I've been treating patients now for a year, and you know, you see things and you just realize that it's not what they had promised.
Right, this whole thing's been a farce. Yeah,
it's very interesting, Richard, that I keep hearing the same thing. I am not on any medical plane or anything. But all the, for instance, human resources people that I know that pay attention to all the benefits in the medical, they all have a highly negative view of what's happening. And then the people in the medical industry are just like, I'm just going to leave this industry altogether. This is not happening. This is not right. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, actually, there's some doctors that don't even want to deal with it anymore. They do want to retire, and they, the new healthcare system is basically what I've seen is it's mucked up care for patients, and it stalls the whole process even more, and it just costs more, and it's been a real financial burden on my patients that I've seen so far, and the people that I'm working under.
And let me ask you, Rich.
We're all working to feed the beast, it looks like. You know?
Right, absolutely.
Good analogy.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me ask you, in regards to what Joe said, for doctors that are stepping away from the whole thing, I'm of the mind that that's intentional. That kind of weeding out resistance. The people that they know in regards to doctors, in the medical profession, they know that those people are going to step away, and that's exactly what they want, because they know that they're not going to toe the party line. And so if they get them out of the way, then they know that the next generation are going to be the people that do toe the party line. So so I believe that, in that regards, that's pretty much the idea, that's intentional. Would you agree with that? Or do you think it's a coincidence?
That's an interesting perspective that you bring up, Robert. I didn't even think about that. I do think that there is some kind of plan regarding this. I do think that there was a sinister backdrop regarding this whole thing. I think that's pretty much undeniable, seeing exactly what's going on from my eyes and from everybody's perspective, And I think that's a good point that you bring up for sure. So, yeah. You there, Robert?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you. Okay.
Well, I don't know why you guys don't want socialized medicine. My girlfriend Ketty, as you know, I'm Swedish, and she had to wait 10 months to have her shoulder repaired, and I don't see what's outrageous about that at all. What are your thoughts?
Just a whole 10 months, huh? That's it, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, they had to refracture her shoulder with hammers and then reset it from the current damage, from the previous damage. And that's a common practice. Like, you pay in taxation heavily over there, and we're getting really short on time here, so I'll try to wrap this up quick. But you have heavy taxation on it, but it's accepted, and you would think that America would have learned from everybody's examples that if I really wanted that, why am I here? I should move somewhere else where we don't have instant service.
Right. Yeah. I have a question. Is her shoulder okay?
I don't know. This was a girlfriend of mine from many, many years ago, and I just laughed at, like, you seriously are going to wait 10 months for your free medical.
I was just curious as to how a surgery where you had to refracture a shoulder.
She's alive.
The prognosis of that is over the years.
She's alive.
Just from a whole health perspective, Just curiosity,
I'm gonna rename my co-host Devil's Advocate.
Oh man.
Rich, we're running out of time here, so I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up. But listen, I want to get together with you soon to really kick this thing into overdrive in regards to the Pay It Forward initiative. I was thinking a lot of different ideas in regards to Ustream, YouTube. I mean, doing videos where we're dropping off gifts, the whole 9 yards. Really go all out with it. So
that sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get in touch with you so we can organize something like that over the next few weeks. I plan on having you live in the studio probably about 2 to 3 weeks from now, if that's okay with you. Just try to set some time aside, and we'll work on that. But I appreciate you giving us a call here today. Sorry we weren't able to put more time into it, but next time when you're live in studio, hopefully we'll have a lot more time to chat about a lot of different things, not just the Pay It Forward initiative, but all the other things you wanted to cover as well. So again, thank you so much for calling, and I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Robert, and you guys are doing a great job.
Feel better, brother.
Keep up the great work. Thank you very much for having me on.
Thank you, brother. All right. Have a good one.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Richard Bramante. Thank you so much for tuning in again tonight to Let's Talk Freedom LTF Radio. Tune in again next week. It's every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find us online at www.talkfreedom.webs.com. You can also find us on Twitter. That's at Freedom Podcast. No, Talk Free Podcast. I can never get that right. At Talk Free Podcast